Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at one of the major races at Lone Star Park on Sunday. It is the final race on the card, the final race of the late pick 5 sequence. Let's take a peek at race number 9. It's at 5 furlongs, it's for 2-year-olds, it's the $75,000 Texan Stallion Stakes, it's the Staunch Avenger division. As you see, 7-5 on the morning line for the number 10, Island Sun, who might even go off shorter than that at post time, considering the fact that he's trained by Steve Asmussen and he's the only horse in the race that has prior winning experience. The 10 Island Sun likely to be favored in this race. We'll take a look at some of the other horses in this field, however, and perhaps try to at least find an alternative as a backup in multiple race wagers. You probably do want to use Island Sun prominently. We look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. Island Sun, the 10, expected to be close to the pace. G Don't Know, who showed good speed in his one and only start, a runner-up performance, can be close to the pace. And the 2-horse Imperial Flyer showed speed in his debut. He'll be close as well. We'll start with the number 1, A Hunk of Heaven. This is a first-time starter by The Hunk, who's only 0 for 5 with 2-year-old debut runners. It's far too soon to tell whether The Hunk will be a precocious influence. The dam, however, was okay. Stakes winner at a mile. She's already foaled a horse named Heavenville, a multiple stakes winner of over $460,000. Now, A Hunk of Heaven's going to have to deal with an inside post, which can be somewhat intimidating for a young horse, and a pretty promising field. Looks like a tough spot for A Hunk of Heaven, breaking down to the inside, 20-1 on the morning line. The 2 is Imperial Flyer, 15-1 on the line. And Imperial Flyer, we're going to take a look at the career debut, because Imperial Flyer in this third-place finish finished ahead of 3 of these common foes. He showed good speed. He went a good clip in the early portion of that 4.5 furlong race. It was a solid third-place finish. He can build off of that 38 buyer speed figure. We see 2-year-olds improve by leaps and bounds from start to start. They're still growing, still maturing, and Imperial Flyer should be forwardly placed in this race. The number 3 is Cresson, and this dam has been very productive. She has already foaled 6 black-type earners, and that's probably one of the reasons why Cresson was bet down in his career debut. He was the favorite at 9-5, and he disappointed. He finished last that day. It is probably too early to give up on this horse, considering his pedigree, and many of the black-type earners in this family have been of the precocious variety. They've been fast, they win early. I would expect Cresson to improve drastically second time out, but he's going to have to if he's going down this stakes field. The number 4 is Appeal Guy. First-time starter for trainer Steve Asmussen. The sire, little expectations, 9% winners with 2-year-old debut runners. The dam was unraced, but she's already foaled 5 winners from as many starters, including 2 debut winners. The dam adds speed and precocity. Only 3 published workouts as of this video recording for the 4 Appeal Guy. I think the other Asmussen horse, the horse with the experience, is the one you want to keep an eye on. The 5 Carbon Striker, to me, is perhaps the key to this race. First-time starter for high-percentage trainer Carl Broberg. The Stallion Crossbow, 2 for 15 with 2-year-old debut runners. The dam was a sprint winner. This is her first starter. There's not a ton of pedigree here, but when you look at these workouts, they are eye-catching. 2 bullet workouts, 1 5 furlongs out of the gate in a minute and change. It appears Carbon Striker has a good amount of early speed, and I think Carbon Striker is going to show that speed in this race. 5-1 on the line. He is a very interesting candidate to upset the apple cart. The 6 is KC Mauro, who ran okay in the career debut. We saw him finish 4th in that Imperial Flyer video. He fell behind in the early portion, behind that fast pace, and was even at the end. I like the way he was running on. He's a horse that can improve in his second lifetime start. He might need a little bit of pace to adequately set up his kick if he intends to try another mid-pack tactic, but I think KC Tismoro has a chance to break into the exotics with an improved performance. Grey Rogue is the number 7. Grey Rogue passed some tired horses in the stretch, and this horse did not have a good trip when finishing behind Imperial Flyer in his debut. He got boxed up in between horses, and he rallied at the end, only beaten 3 lengths. He's another another horse like KC Tiz Mauro. They're both by Mauro Tap. They're both grandsons of Tappet, and they both can improve with their debut experience under their girth. Here's the 8, G Don't Know. Let's watch his debut over a sealed, muddy track. He showed big speed. He's going to finish second. The dam won 3 times on the turf, but G Don't Know is a full brother to a stakes-placed 2-year-old named G's Josh. So we expect G Don't Know to be precocious. He showed good speed in his debut. Timeform US believes there's a good opportunity he can make the lead in here, and this barn has just been on a tear at the Lone Star Park meeting. G Don't Know, 5-2 on the morning line, a maiden facing the winner, but one that has shown some speed and some ability. The 9 is Policy Limit. This is a second-time starter. We'll take a look at his career debut. He broke from the rail in that race, and he showed good early speed. He battled for the lead, and he ended up finishing third. Trainer Danny Pish is very sharp, and Policy Limit to me looks like the kind of horse that he can improve from his career debut, and something tells me he doesn't need to show all that speed from his first race. I think if he could sit a little bit going 5, he won't be that far off the pace when the real running begins. Policy Limit, I think, is an interesting upset chance. 12-1 on the morning line. We saw the solid third in the debut. Here's the 10, Island Sun, the only horse in the race with winning experience. He goes out for Steve Asmussen. Let's watch his victory. It's worth noting, friends, that this race was over a muddy track. And maybe that just moved Island Sun up, and maybe a couple of these other horses just didn't seem to handle the surface. Island Sun won very, very easily as the odds-on favorite. He was no secret in this race. Here into 62 Beyer speed figure. And if he runs back to that 62 Beyer speed figure, he's likely going to win this race at a very short price. Steward Elliott takes the mount. My Blarney Stone completes the field. My Blarney Stone finished double-digit lengths behind Island Sun in that career debut, and is going to have to make up that deficit in, 12 days? It seems a bit unlikely for My Blarney Stone, who might need a pace collapse in order to pull off the upset. 30-1 on the morning line. We take a look at my top picks for the Texas Stallion Stakes Staunch Avenger division. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Island Sun, but he did win his career debut over a muddy track. If it's fast going at Lone Star Park on Sunday, I might want to take a little bit of a chance against him, or at least in the pick 5, I also want to use Carbon Striker, the first-time starter for the Carl Broberg barn. He's going to be my top pick in this race. Very fast workouts. I'm expecting to see some speed. I'm going 5, 10, 8, and 9. Race number 9 at Lone Star Park on Sunday. It is the Texas Stallion Stakes. It's the final leg of the late pick 5, the final race on the card, and it has an approximate post time of 7:07 Central. Best of luck.